Hello everyone, this is the Archfiend.
Well, I just finished watching the UFC on Fox, and I don't know whether to call this a great achievement, a disappointment. I don't know what category this falls in. Now, for those of you that's seen it, and there's a lot of new UFC fans or people that aren't going to be UFC fans that watch this fight tonight because this was UFC's debut on national television. It aired on Fox in front of millions of more potential people to watch this than any of their pay-per-views have ever garnered an eye towards. The special was 1 hour long. It featured one bout from what I think was a 5-6 bout fight card. It featured the heavyweight battle between Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos. Junior Dos Santos won in about 30 seconds. That happens. Quick knockouts, especially with heavyweights, it's not really that rare to happen. I'm not knocking the pay-per-view for that. Well, actually, it's not a pay-per-view. What am I saying? I'm not knocking the special for that because that happens. But when this happens before, and there's a number of times where a quick knockout like this has happened, and you would look back on the rest of the fight card and you would go, oh, remember that middleweight fight where the two guys went the distance? And remember that lightweight battle that started off the show where two guys were just, thrown ferociously, and oh my god, it was a great fight. It ended in the middle of the second round and all this other stuff. You didn't have that tonight. Now, I didn't know that this was only going to be a 1 hour special till about an hour before the show started. Now, whose fault of that is any but mine? Of course, it's, I could have looked ahead of time and found out about this. My question is why? Why did they just make this special 1 hour long? This was UFC's grand debut to make a statement, to show everyone what they were worth, and Fox only gives them an hour and they feature one fight? The main event, the heavyweight fight? The Clay Guida fight, the Guida versus Henderson match. I have to read reviews for it and hear what a phenomenal, amazing, to-the-distance match it was. And it didn't even get showed on television. But what we got and what people got as a first impression, this is a lot of people's first impression of the UFC is, here's our biggest bout that we're going to hype up for no end and air these commercials during football, and it'll end in 30 seconds. That's the first impression people are going to have of UFC now. All these new fans, like I said, all these commercials they were airing during the NFL games, everything leading up to this. And they give us one fight that lasts 30 seconds on a card that had good fights on it. I just don't get the rationale behind decision making to make this special 1 hour long and just wipe out the rest of the fight card. In fact, how did anyone even watch the other fight card unless you were there in the stands? I mean, I saw the pregame thing on Fuel TV. I was like, oh, I guess they'll show the preliminary fights on that. No, they didn't show anything. They just hyped up the Fox debut. They didn't show any of the fights. Maybe it was on UFC.com. I don't know. It should have been on television. That's the bottom line. I couldn't believe this. I was disappointed, but I was like, you know what? Maybe this is going to be a good fight. Maybe it'll go all 5 rounds. It'll be a real slugfest. But again, it's not disappointing that it ended real quick. Junior Dos Santos earned that victory. It was a stiff knockout punch. Wasn't an early stoppage or anything like that. There wasn't anything crooked or shady about the fight. I'm just disappointed in both Fox and UFC that they put together this deal, and this is what you got to get for the first impression for so many fans out there that had no idea what UFC was about, and this is what you get. My God, we got that Guida and Henderson fight that just totally buried. Went the distance, from what I'm hearing, it was one great bout. That's great. The people at the Honda Center got to see it. The rest of the world, oh well. We'll get it on the DVD when it gets put on sale. I don't know. I can't believe this. I'm stunned. I had no idea they were just going to show one fight, that this special was just going to be 1 hour long. I'm sorry, I classify this as a terrible, terrible network television debut for UFC. Terrible. That is all.